Jag är den första man.
So cry me a river, I'll drown in your arms. That's exactly where I want to be. From the moment you told me you gave me your heart, then I knew that this angel loves me. So cry me a river, I'll drown in your arms. That's exactly where I want to be. From the moment you told me you gave me your heart, then I knew that this angel loves me. Then I knew that this angel loves me. Yeah, then I knew that this angel loves me. Angel loves me.
Hello everybody, I'm Tim Cobb. I'm Loretta Lynn's designer and assistant, and I want to welcome you to her museum here in Hurricane Mills, and also welcome you to the Cowboy and Viking show.
Hi everyone, you're back on the Cowboy and the Viking show, and we are at the Loretta Lynn Museum in Hurricane Mills, Tennessee. And we have a very special guest on the show today, Tim Cobb. Tim, thank you so much for having us out here today.
You're more than welcome. I'm so glad y'all came out.
And we're very happy to be here. You design everything for Loretta Lynn, and you built this museum too.
People ask me, how did I come up with this concept? And I said, well, I can't take the full credit because I was just delivering her view of what she wanted her museum to be. And so I can't say I designed it, I just oversaw her vision of it. So a lot of people wonder that, and they ask about it, and I said, well, easiest thing to explain it, you've read the book, you've seen the movie. Now, the way this museum is, you can see it up close firsthand of everything. And so it basically tells the story of her life, family, and career. As you can see down this corridor, it's dedicated to her family. And we have some personal belongings over here, beginning with her parents. Even have a little card down there that her mom had given her father and wrote, and it goes through to her siblings, and which they had careers and still has careers, and in the country music business. And then we have, of course, on this side, family photos.
Right.
And just all of the kids, and we need to update it, but she says, we'll need to build on. I said, oh no, let's don't do that right now. But of course, if that's what she wants, we'll do it. But it's amazing what she did save. When we were going through things, I found a little manila envelope, just dirty and looked like you need to throw it away. And I opened it up, and it was the baby hospital bracelets of her twins.
Wow.
In there. And then in fact, I think I've got the picture on display, but the same thing with another envelope, just tattered. and stained up, and I opened it up, and it was an autographed picture from Patsy Cline to her and Mooney.
Wow.
And so I learned those few steps. Never underestimate. Look through everything to get it. And because one thing too about her I love, and it was so helpful, to this day she knows everything she has and where it's at. So I'd ask her, where's so-and-so? And then she'd tell me where it was, and sure enough, it is. It's amazing. So it's, the building probably was the hardest part, to make it large enough that everything could fit in. But the easy part was to have enough memorabilia to fill it.
Yeah.
And as I said earlier, she has enough in her archives to fill another building the same size.
That's incredible.
So we love it. Here in the museum, everybody can take their time and just do it at leisure and have a good time.
Yeah. Well, I can understand. As soon as we walked in the museum when we got here, you can't help but be impressed.
Well,
You really can.
Thank you. Good. We like
It's an extraordinary journey through her life and career.
Well,
really
it is, and like I said, you can build a building, but it's the things that's in the building,
Right.
and it's because of her, because she has fans that are just have followed her whole career, some, and then their whole life, and it's really touching. I've walked through here and see a little 16-year-old girl looking at the coal miner's daughter dress, and she's just bawling her eyes out because she is so excited to be able to see that.
Yeah.
And so, you know, those things are what makes it worth it, you know, for a fan. I may be an employee, but I'm still a humongous fan. And so I have that blessed life that I see it from both sides, from the fans' point of view and through her and her family's point of view. So it's amazing. And this all, I think, speaks for the fans, which she says her fans are everything, because they are the ones that buys her records, comes to see her shows, and she wouldn't be where she is today, career-wise, if it wasn't for her fans.
Well, that's pretty much, I mean, that's pretty much true with any big artist, but I think with Loretta Lynn, obviously, different from many artists, she is, with your help, of course, and your guidance, set up something like this where fans can come in and they can feel closer to that artist they've loved for so many years and followed her career. And you don't really see that very much.
Loretta's fans think of her as family, that they can just sit down and have a coffee and just gossip up a storm and laugh, and Loretta would love that. But unfortunately, she can't do everybody.
Well, of course not.
And she has always said to me that she can't do one if she don't do them all.
Yeah.
And I even, this is my 37th year with her, I've seen her just for hours and hours and hours sit on stage after the show and sign autographs and say hello. And that's hard. Now, it was hard. It really got hard as times changed and everything as far as the workers got unionized and the time, you know, so they didn't they were going to have to pay overtime if the artist
Yeah.
didn't leave. So you have to realize that times have changed and the way things are done. But I guess being fortunate of working here and living here, I get a little bit sheltered because I call this paradise for me, because I'm a Northeast Arkansas farm boy myself, and so this is why I'm even so more comfortable. So, and that's another thing that I love, that the visitors here feel this things that I do about this. You're just kind of shut away from the hubbub of business, Nashville, and all this. This is so much more intimate. And
yeah, well, I agree. I feel the same way. I mean, it's very relaxed here. There it is. You feel it feels very homey.
It is.
Actually, it really does.
Is. But some of the cool things here, right over here, and you can shoot this later. That's a whole tribute to Crystal Gale. That she tries to showcase everyone in her family. And she has a big exhibit of Conway, which they do remembering Conway and Loretta, and usually the July 4th weekend every year. And so it's kind of really cool. But one of these days, we try to revolve displays, and this year we're planning to do some other changes. Of course, I can't take the coal miner's daughter gown out of display. I can't take her Grammys out, you know. So there's some things that I can't, because you have somebody from anywhere travel 1,000 miles to see the coal miner's daughter dress, and I don't think I want to deal with the consequences if it's not here on display. So, but this, like I said, is just her family, and you can see down on the end, she even has her daughter's wedding gowns. That's how personal it is.
Yeah, we saw those when we walked in. Yeah. That's quite a display too.
It is. She has down over here on the lower, she even has and of course, she didn't like it. Her twin Peggy didn't like it, but I found a school suspension letter for her using obscene language in school, and they wrote, and I said, that has to be framed. I love it.
Well, we're in a different part of the museum right now, and Mr. Tim Cobb is going to tell you all a little about everything here.
But this corridor is still following her life, of course. Directly behind me is some of the iconic stage, things that she wore, but also have them in a separate section because she appeared on the album covers for them. In fact, in the museum we're here, I have 177 albums that she did and was also a duet on. Also the foreign versions, and then collaborations on television with. So that's why there's so many. I still don't have all of them up because she's done some since then. But down here you see a small portion of her USO days that she went on several USO trips. And then she carried the torch on the Olympics, and it was a rainy day, but she had a blast. That's her outfit and the torch that she carried. Also, on the opposite side is a case just of Mooney, and it has some of his rodeo trophies. It has anything related to Mooney. In his life here at the ranch, I have his desk, a lot of his personal notes, his hobby stuff. He loves scuba diving. He loved collecting baseball cards. And then also you will see some of the, when they had the Loretta Lynn Longhorn Rodeo years ago, some of the memorabilia from that. But still staying pretty much with the family area. But that's what people like to see, these things in the personal.
Yeah.
Right around, in this case, on the opposite side, you can shoot it later, is really fun. It's her band uniforms through the years. And if you saw the movie Coal Miner's Daughter,
Oh, yeah.
the original band was her band in the movie, and some of the outfits was what they wore. And she still had them, so.
Well, that is interesting.
Yeah. These are behind us, actually, are her gold and platinum albums. Now, she doesn't have everything that has been made that as qualified for it, but Family Rose should be included. We just haven't gotten it yet. But this display case is all the things that I could not mount out in the open.
Right.
And collection of plaques and awards and keys to the city and proclamations. It is amazing that what people have presented to her, and also amazing she still has so many in storage that we can't get out yet. So it's a treasure hunt when you start digging everything. But finally, we do have a digital inventory of our archive. So we know where everything is now, but it's still a treasure hunt here.
Well, she's obviously had an incredible career, really.
Yeah.
And of course, you have been with her for a good part of that journey too.
Yeah, it's a
in many different capacities.
Well,
I mean, not
it
just a
turned
museum.
It started as doing her gowns, designing, and the first one I designed for her was in October of '82. And we just hit it off as friends, and I would still design back in Arkansas and then bring them here. And then, sadly, when Mooney passed, she stayed off the road for so many years taking care of him.
Yeah.
And she decided she's going to go back on the road. And so I started coming in and creating for her again. And then just got built into being an assistant. And so I moved to Hurricane Mills, and so fortunate that she wanted me to do it. And we've, of course, it's 37 years this year. And I tell everybody, well, I was only 8 when I started. And she said, yeah. But it's everything with her is still unpredictable. You never know. And what she wants me to do next, and I tell her that I'm just here, whatever you need me to do. So we just finished renovating her home because it was built in 2000, and so we haven't had a chance to refresh it. So we did, and the first time she saw it was during the holidays, and it passed the test, so I guess I did okay. But, well, you see behind me is a exact replication of her first Nashville home it's actually in Goodlettsville, and it's that they had bought. I say her first home. She rented a home in Madisonville first, but this is a first home that her and Mooney bought. And ironically, even when I moved back to the ranch, she had all the furniture and everything.
Wow.
And so I said, this would be perfect. So I studied the walls and the flooring and how it was done. And so I recreated it so people can see when she was starting out in Nashville. What is the cool thing about that? Her daughter, Peggy Jean, has that farm now. And she has an organic farm there and has events and everything. So it's still in the family, and I love that.
Oh, that's very nice. Yeah. It's interesting that she had all this original stuff, the
it's
furniture
just
and everything,
too
so you were able to
amazing.
do this. I mean, that's unbelievable.
It's gets overwhelming now. It's old hat because I know she got it.
Yeah.
It's just where it is, and it's just such a vast amount of things that she's collected, and her own children are the same way. So they describe to me, and to other people, they're butcher holler. Maybe they weren't born there, the kids, but they were raised as butcher holler.
Right.
And even though their life is magnified in the public eye and everything, they're still just as down to earth and friendly with everybody. And of course now they were raised that way because Mooney and Loretta wouldn't put up with it that way.
Yeah.
And so some live here at the ranch close by, and grandkids, and Taylor, which is a recording artist and performs. She lives on the ranch, and she's in and out because she still tours and all that. So they're close to her Meemaw, and
That's good.
yeah,
That's
so
good.
they love it. Well, people ask, first of all, they see her gowns and they wonder, a guy does that? I'd be on the road and get off the bus and they'd ask me, are you the bus driver? And I said, well, no, I make the dresses. And I actually was going to be a mortician when we grew up, and it always, the mortuary science always fascinated me. And my sister was the proverbial Southern beauty queen. And my mother would put her in beauty pageants, and then I was seeing what my mom was paying for those dresses, and I thought, I could do that. I'll just get rich. So my mom taught me to sew, and I took different patterns, put them together, and started creating. And then when I graduated from high school, which was very small. We only had 48 graduates in my class, but I moved to Los Angeles and went to fashion design school. And it kind of grew from there. So that's, this work here behind me is a few of the gowns that I designed for her through the years. And probably here on this side is the iconic Bandler Rose dress, and next to it is what we call the Portland, Oregon dress. But a lot of the dresses people will recognize, and the lavender gown there is the one that when she won her Grammys with Jack White, she made her appearance, and a lot of them, it's just, again, I have no idea of the amount of gowns that I designed. Well, right now, actually, I'm restoring a few of them that I've had. So I was surprised I could still get back on the sewing machine and sew. And I said, well, I better do this while I can see to thread a needle.
Yeah.
And so I'm really enjoying it right now. But it's a love. But like I said, I get so many compliments. and I'm humbled, but I don't take that for granted, because you can do a gown, but it's the woman that makes it work.
Oh, absolutely.
And
Yeah.
she's the one that made these gowns work. As far as we would try different things, but mainly when designing for her, I always said she's country music royalty, so she needs to look like a princess. And so that's where the ball gowns came from. And I was amazed that she would put up with all of it. And but we've had fun.
Well, I would say you accomplished that, helping her to look like a princess with all the gowns you made. And
thank you.
they're extraordinary. They really are.
Having, well, now, and two, a lot of the things you won't, I can't take credit, because it wasn't just me. She would tell me what she wants and the color she wants. And we, in the archives, have kept all these scraps of paper and magazines she's drawn pictures of sleeves or bodices and or even just a skirt. And she'd tell me, and I'd say okay, and then I'd get it together. There's only one thing that I love. Actually, no, I don't think it's in here. No, it's in the archives. We took it out of the display. But it's like this red outfit down there with that seated mannequin. It's a jumpsuit with the shoes built in. And this one was pink. And when I first brought it to her, she said, I ain't wearing that. I said, you're not. She said, it looks like Bozo's clown would wear that. And I said, no, wait, you need to try it on. So I said, I'm going to leave it. And I was still living in Arkansas. And I'm going to leave it, but then I'll come get it or whatever, just try it on. And it was 2 days after I got home, she wanted me to come back. And it was making an adjustment on the neckline a little bit. I got it a little low. But she loved it after she got it on. But she said, no, that looks like a clown suit. I'm not wearing it. But so it might have looked like a clown suit, but we did about 4 of those with the shoes built in. It was fun. We were doing different things. And you will see through the years, this yellow embroidered jacket looks like something Manuel would do. It's actually my design. A company in Fort Worth would take my designs and make them up and run, because tailoring is completely different than in my type of sewing. And so I loved it when she was doing that, because I just put it on paper and send it to them, and they'd send us the outfit. So that was great. But she would go back and to wear something like that, and of course she'd always go back to the gowns. And the people would always want to see her in the gowns. But when she started off, she was wearing the little short dresses that she made herself. And over here on the other side, you'll see the dresses that she made herself, even the sewing machine that she made them on. That and she kept. But I tried to, in this I call it the Loretta Lynn Theater, because we run, right now we're running the PBS Still a Mountain Girl video and rotations for all to be able to see it. And of course we have it available for those that want it. But in this little theater part is where I have her gowns, and starting the early years and kind of ending all this way to the latest. The last gown I designed was a platinum gown, and she wore it in this Christmas issue of Southern Lebanon magazine. And it was a photo shoot at the, we call it the big house, for Christmas. And that's the last gown that I've made her, and And she said, I won't wear my silver gown again. I said, well, we will.
Well, I have to tell you, looking around at all the gowns here, I really have to say your creative talent is off the charts.
Well, thank you.
Most
Thank you.
definitely, it is. I mean,
Thank you.
you are extremely skilled at
Well,
this.
yeah. I have a vision of how I want it to be constructed. In this business with her, it has to be durable.
Right.
Because most gowns are so fragile. And she was going to wear them to death, you know. And because, in fact, I'd have to, if she was wearing something too much, I'd have to make another one and get her out of that one.
Mm-hmm.
So she would put it, because if she liked something uncomfortable, she wanted to wear it all the time, or then she wanted different colors in it. That's why, hence the difference in the pink and the blue. I made the bandolier rose gown first, and then she wanted a pink one, so
Right.
I did that.
I have a question. These gowns with all the beadwork and everything that's on them, are they heavy? I mean, heavy to wear?
Well, the heaviest gown is this gold one right up there. And because it's all glass beads. And it's just totally embroidered with glass beads. And I made that one, the one that's between those, I made that for her 50th tribute at the Grand Ole Opry House for, excuse me, being an artist. We call it the 50th anniversary gown. The one next to it was the one that the Grammy tribute for 50 years. But that one, I exaggerate and say it weighs 75 pounds. And it's not far from it, but I will laugh. That gown and the lavender violet colored Grammy dress there, I knew when I designed those, they would be a one-time thing. Because they're not going to be compatible with traveling on the road and too heavy.
Right.
But when she was in that gown for the tribute, it was funny. We were on the bus and she got in it and I was trying to adjust her and get her zipped, and she turned kind of too quick, and the G-force in the dress threw her on the bed. So I had to lift her and get her up. I said, okay, if we could just make it through the night. But most of them, not too many of them is that they're heavy. It's just voluminous and awkward. But the years that she's worn them, she knows how to work them.
Right.
And I started putting trains on the back of them and she just flipped that train around and anybody that can see her early years of performing, when she enters the stage, she'll skip out on the stage. And so these gowns, and the twins say, now Mama, don't skip. And of course she'd do it just for meanness, but she did it effortlessly. She can do it. It's amazing. But I said that I can design something for looks, or I can design something for comfort. She said, do it for looks. We'll worry about the comfort later. But now there's some things are a lot more comfortable.
Yeah.
The red, we call it the White Christmas Blue album cover dress is on display at Ernest Tubb Ricker's job. That one and wouldn't it be great, gowns, which she has a little boutique called Loretta's there. And so the red one, she really liked to have worn it out because it was so comfortable.
Well, they are amazing.
Well, thank you.
Everything we see here is amazing. And these definitely showcase how incredibly talented you are.
Well, thank you.
Really.
this case that we have here is the coal miner's daughter dress. It's the most iconic gown that Loretta has, of course. It was a similar version was on the book cover. That dress and the album that came out with Coal Miner's Daughter was actually a rented gown from New Orleans. And so when she came back to Nashville, she and a friend of hers, Judy Hunt, they got together and made this kind of gown. And this is what we know is her Coal Miner's Daughter dress. And she loves to tell the fact that she's the one that dyed the lace on it. So, again, so thankful that she still has priceless treasures of this. In front of it, I have all the versions of the published book of Coal Miner's Daughter. And then on this other side was one of the biggest honors that she received, and that was the Presidential Medal of Freedom Award. For that event at the White House, her daughter and I was talking, she just needed a classy suit. And of course, naturally, we would turn to Manuel for that. He's a master at these things. And so this is a Manuel suit that she wore at the White House and has her medallion on it. And then when you look around in this area, is of course more plaques. But another fun feature is all the wardrobe, in this case down here, when you shoot around, is from the movie that was the characters wore in the movie, and scripts from the movie. The silver gown down there with the jacket was what she wore to the Academy Awards when Sissy Spacek won Best Actress that year. This area we call Loretta's Friends, and as you can see over here, this is the whole case tribute to Conway Twitty. And it actually is his personal family life, and when growing up, then his career, with Loretta, then when he owned Twitty City, which was a major tourist attraction in Nashville. And then we ended with the musical, the Conway Twitty story. And I love that they brought me 2 male wigs, the family did, and it was the character in the Broadway musical that wore the wigs. And they said, please tell them that they are not Conway's personal wigs, because his hair was so perfect. People wanted to say, is he wearing a wig? I never thought that, but I guess so. It was always in place. But this whole section is dedicated to her friends. Over here on my right side is various artists in the industry, and it's not just strictly country music, it's all genres of the entertainment industry. And then we have on another wall in this area is framed pictures, and some are autographed of all and that's just a small portion of what she has. But this is a lot of stuff to look at that the fans love. And of course, and that's another thing I love. People say, I keep finding stuff I did not see. Mm-hmm. And I said, well, it just takes a long time to see everything. But we wanted to, my idea that was talking to everybody, some museums have interactive display areas, and you can push this button and hear this or do that. And Loretta's demographics, they want to see her personal memorabilia, they want to see the stuff. They already know what a banjo sounds like, so they don't want to have to do that. And so it's not, the museums don't compare, because a lot of museums, such as the Country Music Hall of Fame, is an amazing museum to visit, because it also educates. If you really go through there, and it educates. You have all people from all areas going in there, and so they can learn about all country music. This museum educates Loretta Lynn, her life and her career, and it's probably the proof that I say that you always hear the cliche, rags to riches, but this is proof. You see it firsthand, and we're kind of proud of that.
Well, it's quite a collection, it really is.
Yes, it's amazing.
And there is so much to see here.
Yeah.
It really is. I think we could spend all day here, and we certainly wouldn't see everything.
It's kind of tough.
Yeah.
But we are so thankful, and talk about fun when it's cleaning time.
Oh, I can imagine.
But this wall here was fun to put together. I learned much about just country music myself. But this here is a copy of the first contract for Zero Labels back when she's in Washington State. I learned these are the first 3 Zero Labels 45s here, and I have several copies that displayed everywhere. I said you really made it if you're on Disco Vision up here, so I guess she was a disco queen too. But I learned a lot about some of these type of records are jukebox singles, and the way they were packaged like that, which I had no idea. So this is really fun. I have her God's Country handwritten lyrics down here, and Your Squaws on the Warpath handwritten lyrics that she actually wrote. So I was able to put it behind protective glass where it wouldn't fade, and so more priceless treasures. This area is more her awards cases. This side over here to my left is her major awards. Now I've got Grammy awards in pedestals scattered, and there may be award with a particular outfit, but her CMA awards, her Music City News awards. I have her Kennedy Center honor medallion when she was honored by them, and you can just see, just again with all the other proclamations. So you're going to see that over here on this side. On the opposite side is various keys to the city's proclamations, and then I have a presidential section of she's been to the White House every year since President Nixon, and so they would keep in contact, and so I dedicated a lot to the presidents in Washington. Now this case over here is actually friends also, but because the items are not as big and everything, it's on a more closed-in case. But what's more prominent, which everybody asks about, is do you have anything of Patsy Cline's? Yes, we have Patsy Cline's, her little red nightie that she gave her that's portrayed in the movie. Then we have some of her personal belongings also. The autograph pictures up there. But yes, that's her Patsy Cline collection. Patsy gave her that skirt, and she kept it all this time. It's it's very well known that she has Patsy Cline's panties because she wore them forever. She had them in display at her one-room museum, and Loretta's proud of them. I was horrified. I said, we cannot put Patsy's underwear on display. So she still has them, but they're in the vault. So thankful that she does. But she has Tex Ritter's hat. She has a cigarette that Dean Martin dropped in the Universal Commissary, and she picked it up and put it in her purse. And Dean said, "What are you going to do with that?" And she said, "I'm going to put it in my museum." But a lot of people, especially the newer generation, did not realize that she was on the Dean Martin show. She was on the Frank Sinatra show. She sang with Pavarotti, and even the Muppets. So she was very, during the Coal Miner Daughter days, it was like, I guess it seemed like she's on the Tonight Show once or twice a month. It's just, she's very, a well-known guest because they loved for her to appear, never knowing what she was going to say. And she always did say what she wanted. But I do wanted everybody to see this because it's so special. Well, this place in this area, I call it the Mooney Lynn Pavilion. What's really cool about this building and why it's built this way, this is actually the original plantation shop building and barn. So I just had the museum lobby to connect the two. Since it was so big and open, all the furniture and vehicles go in here. But this was, you have Mooney's favorite big Red Mac truck. I think it's what you call them, Big Mac. That's a burger. I don't know. But anyway, I'm a farm kid, but I didn't drive anything. But you'll see this bus behind here, and this was her first brand new custom bus. It's a 74, and then you'll see the vehicles walking through. You'll see the Jeep that was in the movie. The dents in it, Mooney didn't put on. Tommy Lee Jones actually wrecked it, and but it's only got 20,000 miles. So they like to really use the vehicles because they were working vehicles. The Cadillac down there, Loretta says, is her favorite vehicle. She used to drive back and forth from Nashville to the ranch in it, and she'd write a lot of songs driving in it. It's been restored a couple of times because, like I said, they used them, and of course I think the Ernie and Jack Benny hit mailboxes with it a couple of times. But we got it, and I think I want to lock it and hide the key. But interesting when you walk around in here, there's a bedroom suite at the end down there, and that was Hank Williams Sr.'s bedroom.
Really?
Yeah. When they moved down here, they bought it from Audrey, and so it was $125 what she charged them, and again, she still had it all. So, but this is a really cool thing, and we have the big birthday cake here to my right. When she had the Bridgestone Arena tribute last year for her birthday special. That's the jacket I designed, outfit there. And then they said, well, y'all need to take the cake. So I brought the cake to the museum. That's what Keith Urban jumped out of.
Yeah, I was going to ask you about that. Noticing it.
Yes, that's the cake.
There's a lot of interesting stuff in here.
It's fun.
Well, we've been walking you around the Loretta Lynn Museum here in Hurricane Mills, Tennessee, and Mr. Tim Cobb has been kind enough to take us around and show us all the extraordinary memories and memorabilia in the museum. And Tim, I want to thank you very much for having us out here,
coming out here,
taking the time and
I
telling
love
us
it.
all about everything.
I love it, love it.
We're so happy to come out here today. We appreciate it very much and for being on the show.
Well, thank you.
Oh, I'm the one that's honored.
And I hope everybody watching will come out and see us.
I hope so too.
Yeah, thank you.
And thanks again for being on the Cowboy and the Viking show.
Thank you.
We'll see y'all next time.
Yes, we will.
We are here at Loretta Lynn's Country Kitchen in Hurricane Mills, Tennessee. We just came back from the Loretta Lynn Museum, where the curator and personal assistant for Loretta Lynn, Mr. Tim Cobb, gave us a personal tour, and we did a really nice interview with him. You need to go to see the Loretta Lynn Museum. It is outstanding, and you will see a lifetime of memories from her career and her life in the museum. And I think you also need to come to Loretta Lynn's kitchen and make sure you grab something to eat, because the food is fabulous.
So cry me a river, I'll drown in your arms. That's exactly where I want to be. From the moment you told me you gave me your heart, then I knew that this angel loves me. So cry me a river, I'll drown in your arms. That's exactly where I want to be. From the moment you told me you gave me your heart, then I knew that this angel loves me. Then I knew that this angel loves me. Yeah, then I knew that this angel loves me.